Hey YouTube, no idea what day it is today. So what I'm doing today is like this Strat and my new white one, right? So this one, very standardy Strat, 3 single coils, 3-way switch. So technically you can wedge it between positions to get positions 2 and 4, but really you've got 3 sounds. It's what it's meant to be. Single, 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 right? Whereas this one, which is still a Strat, actually they're quite similar. Well, they're both Strats. Quality level's not that different. This one has HSH, but it's wired funny. Not by me. So this one has, in the bridge position, you get a humbucker. In the middle position, you get 2 humbuckers. In the neck position, you get a humbucker. But in position 4, this one's split and you get the middle, so you get position 4, and the same as position 2. Position 2 is this and half of this. So between these these guitars, so 5, 6, 7, 8 sounds that are all different between 2 guitars, which I thought was worthy of doing a video of. Don't know. I'm doing this one first, which is probably the wrong way around, because I'm pretty sure this one's twice the volume of that one. But that's the only difficulty you would have there is if you've got a really weak amp, which is unlikely, or you're trying to switch between the two. So you kinda, if you were going to do that, I'd imagine what you want is a certain knowledge or a boost pedal or something that you turn on when you're using the other guitar, that kind of thing. Or you use this for a distorted song and that for a clean song. But here we go. So starting the bridge humbucker, playing through the orange TH30 knee pedals. So it's already louder than it would normally have it. Position 2. Sounds like a Strat. Middle, 2 humbuckers. Like it's pure distorting the amp. You can almost get away with without. This has also got 10s on it, I think. They're definitely not 9s, 10s or more. Oh, this might be a hybrid set, actually. I think this is actually... Yeah, this is... these are... Is any balls that are... The thin 3 strings are from 9s and the thick 3 are from 10s. Best of both worlds. I don't buy them because they're expensive. Position 4. Another Stratty sound. Neck humbucker. Rather than watch me swap over, I'll pause and magically reappear. It's gone white. Yeah, I wanted to make sure this was in tune before I did any more. So we just did neck pickup, so neck pickup again. Maybe it's not actually that much quieter. It's a different sound though. In position 4 there isn't one, so middle position. Bridge pickup. I think for the distortion sounds, I'll stick in a quick wee rhythmy back-any track, put it on the neck pickup on this one, and then just drums. Who makes cable noise? See, look, quite a difference in sound between the single and the bucker. Four. 2 humbuckers. Just in 2. Rich humbucker. What we do here is pause it again, put on the other guitar for clean. Middle. Now the neck isn't going to sound as good because that's what's playing there, so this will be kind of lost in the mix a bit. Maybe not. I'm going to put the Boss distortion pedal on. Middle. And you'll hear a big difference here with the humbucker and the distortion. I'll try and do it at the start of the list this time. Middle, both humbuckers. position 4. Then neck humbucker, and I'll stay about the 12 because they always sound fruity there. So, I don't really know what the point of that was. Well, I kind of wanted to show off this guitar because I've now fixed it. When you saw this last week, this is the Fender, the one made in China. It's awfully good. I just think it's got that stigma about it because it's made in China, but it's a bit more less poly sounding, and I think maybe a bit more. It's the humbuckers. It is a mahogany body. That might be part of it as well. It's the same scale. It does get a maple neck as well. There's quite a lot of things different with these two guitars, really. Apart from they're both strats. There's also got jumbo frets. That's got skinny ones. It's got a brass nut. But there's both strats. Yeah. So I've just fitted a new nut to this one, a Tusq one. A guy called Neil, who I was expecting to maybe come round this afternoon. I was kind of waiting for a phone call there, but he's now coming tomorrow, so that's fine. I was kind of trying to rush this video out before he turned up. Yes, he's like, I've got one of those Tusq nuts, you don't even need to cut it. And it's like, fair. How could they give you a pre-cut nut? Because all guitars are going to be different, aren't they? So yes, I did have to do the nut. It wasn't just a case of popping it in, popping it in and the strings are sitting 2 minutes. When you hold the way you tell whether your nut's right is you hold in the 3rd fret, and then there should be something between the 1st fret and the string, something, Mitch's ball here, something like that. Whereas it was like 2mm when I fitted the nut, so you've got to cut them down. You can't really replace the nut on a guitar unless you do actually get like a, not for a Strat, but for like a Les Paul, you can get one that's got the wee Allen keys in it. And so I think I've had a Floyd Rose that's had like adjustable Allen keys where you can actually raise it up and down once you fitted it. But you can't do it with like a normal, like a wee thing. So this is a Tusq one. So sound wise, it's, I don't know if I know the guy has more strats, so that's fine. But in this one, see if you put like a push pull pot in, like a dual coil split, you would split these two, which would give you two of the sounds that guitar's got. This doesn't. So you would get the two, or very approximately, it's like a humbucker split in half. Doesn't sound exactly the same as a single coil, but it's quite close. I mean, I don't think if you gave me a guitar, I could tell you if it was a single coil or a humbucker, but I probably couldn't tell you whether it was a humbucker that was split to be a single coil, unless you maybe no. And if it was my guitar, no, I wouldn't know. If it was my guitar, I would know what you'd cut into it. Yes, I'm sure that made sense. I was up at 8 o'clock this morning to walk and go and get the Panda, which is now back, and then I was in the studio. So I've had a 4-mile walk. I've washed my hair twice, and I've found a new way of washing my hair. Hasn't it gone fluffy? I was going to say that in the studio, but I didn't want the rest of the band to laugh at me for the wrong reason. Yeah. So when you've got conditioner, what you do is you kind of do that with the conditioner into the bits that go down, and it kind of goes soft and nice, rather than just using it like shampoo. There you go. How long have I had long hair and never knew that? There you go. Yeah, but no, this guitar is very nice. Don't know, would I have it over the white one? I don't know. The pickups sound awfully good. They do. I mean, if you're after, I want a Strat. I want a Strat for all the things that are Stratty. Maybe you would go for, maybe I think the maple neck's a bit more of a Strat thing. Certainly the early ones anyway, and the single coils, you know, this probably wouldn't do as good a Hank Marvin as that one would, whereas that one doesn't do as good a Judas Priest or an Iron Maiden as this one does. You got to pick and choose. It's like, I think the guy does have other Strats, so this one being HSH as well. So basically what I was saying there, if you put a push coil split in it, it would split these down to single coils, which would give you a single coil in the bridge, a single coil in the neck. But in the middle position, because this one's wired, so it gives you 2 humbuckers, it would give you the sort of Telecaster middle position, which, in all honesty, I would much rather have than the middle pickup on its own. I've been trying to force myself to use the middle pickup on that guitar because it's only got the 3-way switch, even though you can wedge it in positions 2 and 5, or I could fit a 5-way switch to it. But I kind of don't want to. It's like, it's got a 3-way switch. It's like, it's a real Strat, not one of your modern fangled 5-way switch. If you want to wedge it, if you want positions 2 and 4, you like that, and then don't touch it, and then just hope it doesn't pop out at some point. That's the man's way of doing it. That's how Hendrix did it. He didn't have a 5-way switch. Really. Jeff Beck apparently used to do it as well. I did an interview with him, and then R.I.P. Jeff Beck. He's like, he was always worried that it was going to damage the guitar doing it, so he tried not to do it that often. He didn't have the internet, so there weren't really people. The only people that were really kicking about that kind of know what I know what we know now were people who built guitars, and I really don't even know if people who built guitars knew that much of it. But if you go back to the 60s and stuff like that, you know what I mean, how long's the electric guitar been about? 1965. I know 58 Telecasters were 52 is Telecasters in America. You didn't really get them. Over here there was a trade embargo on America because they were naughty and dropped a bomb, so the whole world taxed their stuff, so we didn't really get Fenders over here. Back then, Fenders or Gibsons or any American guitars, we had Italian guitars and British guitars, which basically weren't as good. They weren't at the level, you know, I don't want to say not a real guitar, but kind of not a real guitar, like what we would now class as, you know, it's one of the reasons that everyone, you know, the Gibson Les Paul really kicked in. It was the only guitar you could get that had that sort of sustain and that sort of sound. So that's why everyone, you know, like Jimmy Page and Eric Clapton, that used the Les Pauls. By the time it got to the 70s, people were going, oh, you put humbuckers in a Telecaster, and then you get other makes and all these things, and then once you got to the 80s, it's like you can get any kind of guitar, really. It wasn't a case of that was the only one that did that. Now there's hundreds that do that. Well, thousands of models probably. But this is also these pots are brand spanking new. You can tell this guitar. I think my pal said he bought it and then pretty much swapped over the pickguard immediately, and I don't think it's ever really been played. And there's a little bit of indents in the frets, but only just so you know it's been played. You know, it's not brand spanking new, but apart from that, it looks pretty much spanking new. He also changed the tuners on it. This has got Wilkinson on it. Yeah, so 2014. It's an awful good guitar. Maybe a little bit more, I dare say it, more interesting than... I'm kind of into interesting guitars when I've got my photo flame Japanese Strat there, which I could easily just pick off the stupid photo and then just paint it a colour, but then it's not as interesting as having that stupid photo stuck on it. It just makes it a bit more interesting. This one's a bit more interesting because it's Chinese, whereas if this was just... I suppose it's also interesting because it's got the 2 humbuckers in it, and it's also interesting because it's got mahogany body. I've no idea what that one's made of. Something. So a bit more interesting, like your bog standard Mexican Strat, I would have said, even though it's Chinese. And I don't think the quality levels it's not. I wouldn't have said there was a jump up. I was playing a Mexican Telly the other day. pal Jim's got one. And it was really nice. It was a really nice telly, but then again, I've not really been playing tellies. I've been playing strats the last couple of weeks, so going back on a telly, it's like, yeah, like it. Yeah, it's like telly's different, good. I don't think I'm quite ready to commit to which would I have if I had to have one. I don't know. I mean, I'm just back from the studio, and that was what I took in, because I was sitting there and it's like there's a wee bit of a safety net on it, because you think, oh, I could take in the white Strat, but then I don't want to be stuck with a thin sound. You know, it's like, but I don't think that's really that much of an issue. It's just that because it's got the humbucker on the bridge, it's like, humbucker on the bridge, and a couple of songs we've got are a little bit more single coily, and it's got the single coils in it as well, so you kind of get the best of both worlds. I'm not going to chop that one up and put humbuckers in it though. Yeah. So I think this I might just put this video out today actually. Aye, I'll just put this video out today, so probably is today. Today's Saturday, so I'll see you on the live stream tomorrow night. Rock and roll. Catch y'all later. And I'll put in the description what this is. It's a 2014 modern player series, something like that. And then this is my one which you're probably getting sick of now, but I've not actually done a video on it specifically. This is my new Tempest, which is it's kind of not really come up to know exactly what it is. I'll do a video on it, what I have found out. I still think it's about the same age as me. It's about 78, something like that. 78 to 81, 82, something, probably. If anyone's got one, the thing you notice about this is, if anyone knows what, see the way it's kind of straight there. I think that's the really the most identifying feature. Also, it's got the bullet truss rod. Whereas if you look at an actual Fender one, I know this is the 60s headstock. It's not as straight there. It's a bit more curvy. That piece. So that's why that one looks a little bit odd. Doesn't bother me, but neither of these are particularly heavy or particularly light. But well. Before I go, let's just out of interest, in case the owner of this doesn't have luggage scales like I do, I'm going to go for this one being slightly heavier, but not super heavy. I'm going to think this is, I always think a 3.6 is about average for a guitar, so I think this is a 3.8. But I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to see what weight this is, and then when I pick up that one, I'll tell you how much I think it is, rather than going, I think this is 3.8, and that's... another number. Anything under 4 is fine. It's going to be 4 point something, isn't it? It's 4.3? Wow! That's not the heaviest Strat I've ever played. It probably means that one's really heavy as well. See, it's amazing how your brain works. See, as soon as I weighed that there, I looked at it and went, oh, it's 4.3. It feels heavier, now I know. Bizarre, isn't it? Is that the placebo effect? Why people love Gibson Les Pauls. It's like, oh, everyone says they're great because that's what you've been told. I suppose technically there must be some weight in that cable. So this, if that's 4.2, this is going to be, oh god, I don't know. Come on, reset. I think that light on this means that the battery's dead. But so that was 4.2. This must be 3.8 then. I don't. You can't see that, but it's totally bang on 3.8. There you go. See, 3.8 kilograms. You can convert it into pounds if you want. So actually a heavy one. I wonder if this is mahogany as well. It could be. It's a sandwich construction, so I don't know. So I mean, there you go. So slightly heavier than what I consider to be an average Strat, which is 3.6. Once you start getting, you don't really start noticing though. That's not noticeable. I didn't even notice that. I mean, 4.3 is. Let's just. I think this one's light. This is less. See, listen. I feel like it doesn't really feel that much lighter. So that was 3.8. This is average. This is 3.6 then. Probably weighed this last time. So like, buy yourself luggage scales. They're really cheap and you can weigh everything. Oh, that's a 3.2, 3.3. So there you go. It's like 50 grams. But I mean, when you're between 3 and 4, it doesn't really feel hugely different. It's like pure, oh, this one's a wee bit light. Or that one's a wee bit heavy. You know, that kind of thing. It's only once you go below 3, you start going, oh, I've got to hold this down so it doesn't float away. But percentage-wise, and then once you get above 4.5, it starts being... The moreover, like the difference between like what was that, say 4.3, the difference between a 4.3 kilogram guitar and a 4.5 kilogram guitar feels a lot, because that one's, yeah, probably a bit heavy. Once you get to 4.5, you go, well, this is quite heavy. And then once you get to like more than that, 4.7, 4.8, it's like, oh my god, this is made of lead, just because of what you're used to. Added on, rubbish. Rock on. Catch you later tomorrow night on the live stream, where I will be having a bottle of Bucky.